Vanakkam, Namaste, and blessings to everyone across the globe. This is Priestess Bairavee PhD. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the energies of the Virgo new moon. It's a very exciting time for all of us who have been called to priestessing or priesting as a spiritual vocation. Spiritual facilitators of all kind will be feeling this powerful pull, this call to a very familiar path of service. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what Virgo is about, and a little bit about the alignments in the sky. For those who want the details, you can also look at my article, which is appended in the description of this video. So let's begin. Now, Virgo is usually associated with a fastidious attention to detail. It is an energy that is also associated with Mercury. Now, in the form of a woman, it is often stereotyped as an overly fussy, nitpicky, hypercritical woman who is sexually frigid. Nothing can be further from the truth. While some people may manifest Virgo energy in this way, it is their choice to manifest it, for there are many other ways that Virgo can be conceptualized and embodied. The reason why we have this stereotype is one that I will also get to in due course. Now, if you look at the history of Virgo, what does she represent? Who does she represent? You'd have to look back at the history of the Vestal Virgins and others who performed the role of a spiritual facilitator or a priestess of some kind. Virgins in the historical context did not mean women who were celibate. They did not mean women who were frigid. They simply meant women who served the divine in a particular way and who were sovereigns of their own body. They were not controlled by the rules of the patriarchy or the men that tended to be the holders, the office bearers and holders of titles at the time. They were allowed to serve and to be ruled only by their understanding of the divine. So virgins were women who had control. They had choices. They could make choices. And that in itself is seen as a very threatening thing, even in today's society. Is it any wonder that this energy, that this archetype is interpreted to be something as undesirable in some form? Essentially, what Virgo tells us is, yes, we serve. Yes, we heed the call of the divine, but we get to choose what we give, how we give, and to whom we give it. And it is effectively that freedom and ability to set those boundaries and to shape that path of service in whatever form you conceptualize it to be. To understand Virgo, you need to look at its opposite, Pisces. Both are linked in some way or another, in different ways, to this understanding of spiritual connection or spiritual communion. Pisces energy is the one which more people understand. It is associated with the energy of Christ. Transcendence, complete sacrifice, and complete dissolution of material forms and material understanding. It is the total lack of boundaries. So Pisces wants to merge with everything, and that's a wonderful, beautiful thing. But as with everything in life, it needs to be balanced. Virgo is that balance. Virgo basically says, well, here's that boundless, joyful, intense communion with spirit, and here's the world. So how do I manifest a life filled with forms, relationships, values, rituals, habits, that actually allow me to bring this energy and continue bringing this energy into everything that I do? Priestesses in the olden days structured their life through the vessel of ritual to do this. So they had a material form or a material script through which they could fulfill their divine duties. Now, we can do this every day, whether it's just 5 minutes of communion with whatever you think is God or whatever brings you peace, or whether it's a certain type of prayer that you do, you can invent, you can make up your own rituals each day to simply fill your life with constant moments of prayer as often as you can, if you choose to do so. Those who are not into the spiritual may see the energy of Virgo simply as the one who says, my body is just as important as my spirit. I need to take care of it. Whether it's workout routines, whether it's being very regimented about how much water you drink, whether it's these little rules and little details that actually allow you to be a more holistic being, to honor not only spirit but also body. Virgo will actually help you iron out these details. She makes spirit into matter. That's amazing. So when you think about that energy and you think about the way Virgo is really is traditionally presented, you know that there has been some mistranslation, and I would largely attribute that to centuries, if not millennia, of thinking steeped in patriarchal values. A woman who can choose, a woman who is, who's sovereign, who can determine her own life, who can determine her own sexuality and spirituality, has been and even is till today seen as a threat in so many different value systems. So handling Virgo energy is pretty intense and can be pretty epic, especially for those of us who do so in a public capacity and service. It's not always going to be fraught with challenges, but it does have a certain amount of gravitas when you seek to embody that energy in yourself every day. So with the Virgo new moon, we've got this Virgo Pisces dance lit up in the skies. You've got the sun and the moon in Virgo, and you've got them opposing Neptune retrograde in its home sign. So it's really a time to look at your spiritual path and your material life and to see if the two intersect, if the two live in the same vibration, and to find ways to bridge them both if they don't. You've also got other things going on. The Mars-Saturn conjunction in Scorpio that is seriously bringing out the past in order for you to release it and heal it. As far as possible, this energy is squared to Venus and Lilith, and so there is this tension between masculine and feminine energies, particularly feminine energies that have a sense of an experience of having been wounded. This is not a time to point fingers and blame. It is a time to use to heal, identify and heal. Now, there are lots of other things going on in the sky as well. For instance, we've got 3 Yods or fingers of fate that are basically taking us backwards so we can go forwards. We will be presented with situations which require an immediate response so that we can actually move or or head into other chapters of our lives. We will also be having a lot of energy feeding into the Grand Sextile. Yes, it is a Grand Sextile if you include the asteroid Bienor. His role is basically to say, whatever you do, whatever challenge you face, do it with integrity. That is what you will manifest. So you've got that going on. You've also got this Grand Sextile energy, and you can look at previous articles of mine on that for more information. Shifting its players at this time. Mercury has moved very, very quickly through, and now the sun is taking its place. Juno is still trining Neptune, but is also beginning to make links to Chiron, and so that energy is also shifting. And on top of that, we've also got this new moon coming right before the start of the final grand cardinal cross of 2014. This will involve Juno in Cancer, Pallas Athena in Libra, Pluto in Aries, Uranus in Aries, and Pluto in Capricorn. So they're going to go and do the whole celestial boxing ring thing again. We're going to be feeling this Grand Sextile and this cardinal cross till the final week of September. So all of this is happening, and that's a lot of information. But all I really want you to take on, to integrate, if there is a core message, it is this. Think about the choices you make. Think about the boundaries that you are not willing to break in your life. Think about whether you respond to a call of service in whatever form it is, and whether you honor that call within yourself. So that's the message for now. And finally, I would like to thank all of you who visited my site www.BairaveeBalasubramaniam.com in the past 6 weeks. It has had over 10,000 visitors from 94 countries. Thank you all for reaching out in this time of great collective awakening, and I'm really touched by the messages of love that I have received from all of you. So, blessings to all, and goodbye.